March is Endometriosis Awareness Month, and I think this is the most important thing ever. As soon as I found this out, I was really excited because I know that this is an opportunity for us to talk about endometriosis and to raise awareness and to bring it to the forefront and, you know, just talking about it and giving other women a chance to understand it a little bit better and give support is so good. So today's video is going to be the first video that I'm going to do this month about endometriosis. I have a few more ideas that I'm going to kind of see how they play out over the month. The best we can do is start with one. So I wanted to do 5 signs that you might have endometriosis. And I think this is so crucial because endometriosis goes undiagnosed so often. And the biggest reason of that is because you can only be officially diagnosed through a surgery, through a laparoscopic surgery. I mean, how many people do you know are just getting laparoscopic surgeries and being diagnosed with endometriosis? Not very many. It's a really hard disease to diagnose. And another unfortunate part of that is just the lack of knowledge, and that being on our end as the, you know, women in this situation, and then on the doctor's ends as well, and people who are supposed to be providing information. Because people usually keep this sort of thing private and don't often talk about, you know, like periods and sex and stuff like that out loud with other people, I find that there's like a misconception overall with so many women, and especially young women, because you don't know what's considered normal, and you just think, okay, well, these cramps, like everybody has cramps on their period. Yeah, I can't walk 2 seconds without wanting to cry or puke or have a physical response, but that's normal because everybody has cramps. But it's not normal. And by talking about these kinds of things, we're able to kind of spread that information and help these women realize that there might be something wrong and that they should seek a doctor and then they should advocate for their health. So anyways, I kind of went on a tangent I wasn't expecting to. I want to read just a definition of endometriosis in case you are new to this. Endometriosis happens when endometrial tissue, which normally lines the inside of the uterus, grows elsewhere in the body, like on the ovaries or in the fallopian tubes. This abnormal growth causes an inflammatory response, and this tissue is then able to reproduce itself as part of an inflammatory process. So it can grow anywhere. It can grow on your bowels, on your ovaries. It can make its way like many different places, and it's awful. It's really awful. So I want to get right into the 5 signs that you could have endo, and yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, number 1, and the biggest one for me, is painful periods. And I'm talking cramps, like where your heat pack is your best friend, and you can't imagine going through your period without your heat pack, where you're taking, you know, medication like Tylenol or something to help with the pain, where you're having that response where it's hard to move, or some people even feel nauseous because the pain is so bad. It's essentially, if you think about what a period cramp should be, if it's anything more than that. And this is what goes back to what I said, that we don't know what the normal level is because it's not really a universal thing. But if any of those things like ring true to you, if you feel, you know, the heat pack or any of that, then that might very well be a sign for you. And that was a big one for me, but I just spent so many years thinking that that was normal, that that level of pain was what all women were supposed to experience. And I just needed to toughen up, and I just needed to get through the day, and too bad, so sad, being a woman sucks, and you just have to keep going. But the truth was, not at all. That was absolutely not the way I was supposed to be feeling. And it actually makes me really sad thinking back on all that time that I spent, you know, being in pain and thinking that I was just being a wuss. And it makes me sad to know that it was quite the opposite. So along with periods is heavy flow, like heavy excessive bleeding when you're on your period, and that is something that I experienced as well, and just thought that that was normal, or I would just, you know, got like I just got SOL and had to deal with that, and it was too bad. But that, especially in conjunction with the painful cramps, could definitely be something there. The next one is actually having pain when you're having like bowel movements, or when you're having like gas or anything like that. That is like the endometrial cells growing on maybe your bowel or around there. And that's definitely a big sign too, is pain with those things. The Now let's take it one step further into the TMI zone, and that is having pain during intercourse. And I just want to tell you right now, pain during intercourse, that's not supposed to be. That's not supposed to be how it is. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people with endometriosis are dealing with. So if that's something that you're experiencing, that could definitely be a sign as well. And then the last one, number 5, isn't so much a cut and paste kind of sign, because there's so many different reasons why this could be caused. But I think that all of these signs are kind of play into part with each other. So if you're finding that you have many of these, or you know, many of them ring true for you, then the 5th one is infertility. And coming from myself, dealing with endometriosis stage 3 and having infertility, it all makes sense. As soon as I was diagnosed, I was like, oh, okay. It makes sense now. So essentially, if you know you're having trouble conceiving, or if you've been through IVF or been through treatments and they haven't been successful, that endometriosis is definitely something you should bring up to your doctor and talk about, especially if you have some of these other signs as well. So I just want to say I am not an expert. In fact, I'm actually still not quite fully aware of endometriosis in my own life. I don't really know all the best ways to deal with it or what to do, but I do know myself, and I know the signs that I've felt, and I can only speak to my experience. So I want to encourage you to advocate for yourself. That's something that I am trying to do more and more as I've become more knowledgeable. If you bring some of these things to your doctor and you know they just shrug it off like, oh, you just have more cramps than the average person, but you really feel like this is a possibility for you, push a little harder. I think it's important because unfortunately, like I said before, a lot of, you know, the stigma is that like women just have painful periods and just have heavy flows, and that's just, oh well, like your life is kind of crappy and you just move on. But that might not be the case, and it's important to be, you know, an advocate for yourself. Okay, so those are my 5 signs, and all of these things are things that when I look back, I'm like, how did I not know? If you want to get to know my story a little bit more, I will link some of the videos that I've done in the past couple years, around my journey of being diagnosed and everything, and I'll link them down below. But I will have kind of an endometriosis my story video coming out really soon to go over everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you got something out of this. If you feel like you need to share it with someone that you think could use this information, by all means, that would be wonderful. And subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in our next video, which will probably be a vlog. Thank you guys. Bye. And you had to know Ellie was right there, because she always is.